Good evening. The 2008 China tainted milk scandal represents a distressing intersection of corporate greed, regulatory failure, and criminal negligence. At its core, the scandal involved Sunlu Group, which is a state-affiliated dairy company knowingly distributing infant formula adulterated with melamine, a toxic chemical used to artificially inflate protein readings. This deliberate act resulted in over 300,000 infants poisoned, 54,000 hospitalizations, and at least 6 deaths, exposing catastrophic gaps in China's food safety oversight and corporate accountability. The crisis quickly escalated into an international incident, leading to widespread global bans on Chinese dairy products and severely eroding consumer trust in Chinese-made goods. A critical underlying factor contributing to this disaster was the Chinese government's apparent prioritization of rapid economic growth and business confidence over robust public health regulations and stringent corporate oversight.
Good morning everyone. So have you guys watched the recent news about China tainted milk scandal? Actually it's not recent, but it's a recent research that we want to conduct. Okay, so for today I am here as your senior legal counsel, and for today we're going to discuss about the China tainted milk scandal, and I'm expecting excellent, precise and also concise submissions from all of you regarding the case. So without any further delay, Shakira, can you please explain to us the facts of the case?
Alright, my counsel. So apparently in this case, in 2008, China experienced a major crisis when it was discovered that milk and infant formula had been adulterated with melamine. So what is melamine? Melamine is an industrial chemical used in plastic and fertilizer, but it was illegally added to dairy products to artificially boost the apparent protein content during quality check. So this contamination resulted in severe health effects, particularly among the infant and kids recently. At least 6 children died from kidney failure. Around 3,000 others suffered from urinary tract issue, including kidney issue. Thank you.
Alright, thank you Shah for your submission. So right now I want to know who's behind all of this scheme and what is the punishment that they have received.
Yes, my counsel. The primary company behind this scandal was Sunlu Group, one of the China's leading dairy producer at the time. Investigation later revealed that Sunlu had received complaints months before the scandal broke, but continued distributing tainted products. The company's former chairwoman, Tian Wenhua, was sentenced to life imprisonment and fined about $3.6 million. Additionally, 2 men involved in producing and selling melamine-based substances, Zhang Yujun and Geng Jinping, were executed after being found guilty of endangering public safety.
And as a result of these executions, several individuals were arrested and received prison sentences ranging from 5 years to life sentences. So the scandals led to widespread public outrage and damaged the credibility of the China's food industry. So in response, the Chinese government enacted a series of reforms, including the passage of a new food safety law in June 2009. So it's also established the China Food and Drug Administration to centralize and strengthen food safety oversight nationwide. However, to address the impact on victims and their family, a compensation fund totaling about $160 million was set up by 22 dairy companies, and families with diseased children were compensated with about 200,000 yuan, while those whose children were injured was received varying amounts of money depending on the severity of their conditions.
Alright, very well. Thank you, Mimi. Now that we have got a glimpse of this case, now you guys may proceed with your submission in regards to this case. Let's begin with the misconduct that contravenes the law in this case. You may proceed.
Alright, first of all, there are 3 of the misconduct that can be deducted from this case. First one is a failure to disclose material information. The 2008, the parents complained about the kidney stones from their children that caused from the milk. Intervention, fundamental principle of good governance, in which is the transparency of corporate structure and operation. It is violated the duty of care owed to consumer, in which infants. However, the executive of Sanlu must have duty to disclose all the material in the market activity and clarify the rumors of report based on the complaints made by the consumer regarding to the food contents of protein powder or known as a melamine in the raw milk.
Alright, very well. Thank you, Dija. So, basically, we all know that transparency is very crucial in ensuring that good governance is properly fulfilled. So, who want to submit to me this about the second contravention?
So now I will proceed with the second contravention, which is in regard to failure to monitor and ensure the quality on behalf of Sanlu. Mind to remind you that melamine is an industrial chemical that can cause kidney stones and kidney failure if it is consumed by infants. In Sanlu's case, melamine was added to milk products and labeled as protein powder. On this basis, Sanlu basically failed to monitor and ensure the quality of the product. The company neglected its duty of care to consumers by focusing on profitability rather than compliance with safety regulations as outlined by the Chinese Ministry of Health. This essentially contravened the corporate responsibility due to both the company and the local government, in which Sanlu and Zhejiang municipal governments failed in their duty to protect public health by prioritizing political and economic interests over transparency and accountability.
Last but not least, my counsel, Sanlu is also in terms of board and management accountability. It is found that disclosing material information is essential maintaining corporate credibility and sustaining investor confidence. However, in this case, the executive failed to disclose critical information regarding milk contamination, which constitutes a breach of their fiduciary duties and failure to act in a good faith. This failure reflected a conscious decision to prioritize profit over the health and safety of consumers. While it may appear that Sanlu executives were attempting to prevent financial loss and reputational damage, such justification did not absolve them from their duty of care and loyalty. The concealment of material risk not only violated legal and ethical obligation, but also undermined the stakeholder trust and contribute to several public health consequences.
Alright, so as we all can see that in this incident, it represents a clear contravention of accountability for corporate governance. So whereas the board of directors, they have a duty, fundamental duty to ensure that the company's products comply with applicable laws, regulations, and also safety standards. And by failing to prevent or disclose the contamination, the board and management has neglected the responsibility. And to uphold not only legal compliance but also ethical standards that is expected of corporate leadership. So, effective corporate governance actually requires that directors to act with integrity, transparency, and in the best interest of consumers and also stakeholders, which principles that were advocated regarding this case. So now, what do you guys have to submit to me in terms of legislation to support the contravention of law that you guys have mentioned? I hope each of you can provide one.
First of all, under Section 68 Clause 1 of the Companies Act 2016, it is provided that every company must lodge an annual return with the Companies Commission of Malaysia, which is SSM, within 30 days of the date of incorporation. So the annual return must contain information about the company's directors, shareholders, registered office and business activities.
So next is about the section 213, subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2016. It is stated that the director must exercise their power in a good faith and best interest of the company and for a proper purpose. And in this case, Sanlu's failure to monitor and ensure the quality of the product indicates that the company does not act in a good faith for its consumer who are infant by focusing on profit.
Secondly, Section 340 of the Companies Act 2016 also can be used. Every public company shall hold an annual general meeting in every calendar year within 6 months of the company's financial year. can present the company's report to the shareholder and provide an opportunity for shareholder to ask questions and receive updates.
Lastly, Section 3346 Clause 1 of the Companies Act 2016 allows shareholders or other stakeholders to seek court remedies if the affairs of the company are being conducted in a manner offensive to them. As consumers of Sunloose products have been oppressed due to the negligence of the company, the consumers have the right to seek legal action against the company.
Alright, excellent. Now let's hear from all of you about the recommendations that we can derive from this case for the betterment purposes for companies out there.
I personally think that the directors' accountability shall be properly enforced. Directors who break their moral responsibility should be held legally responsible, especially when the public safety is at risk. So there should be consequences for acting dishonestly and carelessly, including terminations or legal actions. Secondly, in order to prevent incompetence and internal cover-up, we must require businesses to set up independent audit and compliance committees to keep an eye on supply chains and safety regulations. So this is to ensure that safety regulations are adhered to while independence protects the business from any biased judgment or decision. Yes.